Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Revolver Guy, and I am a reloadaholic. Today, we're going to be going over what it takes to load 357 Magnum on a Lee Classic 4-hole turret press. Before we do so, none of this video is sponsored. This is all out of my pocket. But I do want to highlight some good equipment that changes the reloading experience, that I believe changes the loading experience. First and foremost, inline fabrication. As you can see there, the Lee Classic turret press is mounted on an ultra mount from inlinefabrication.com. And then I will be testing these loads, so you guys better stick around for those that like the ransom rest test for accuracy. Stick around because I will be testing this load out of a K-frame Smith & Wesson 686, 4-inch, and a friend of mine has a 6-inch barrel, and I will be testing both for accuracy as well as velocity across the chronograph in the ransom rest from Ransom International. And then, of course, one of my favorites, last but not least, is the reloadersnetwork.com. If you're looking for a family-friendly environment to learn all about reloading, shooting, and this great pastime / sport of ours, that is a great place to do so. Now let's get on with reloading 357 Magnum. In starting the process of reloading 357 Magnum, you want to have yourself 2 good reloading manuals to start with to validate all your loads. Me today, I've got to be quite honest. This is a long time load that I have used that produces really good accuracy and really good velocity for range plinking. I expect about 1,150 to 1,200 feet per second out of this load. But you can find in this manual, the Lyman 50, 50th edition, plenty loads for 357 Magnum. You also want to have a second one to validate, and I love the yearly Hodgdons. I actually have every one of these dating back to 2007. So if anyone's looking for any loading data from Hodgdon for the powder that I will be using today, hit me up and possibly I can help. So now on to the components that we will be using. First and foremost, we're going to start with the powder. As I said, Hodgdon's powder, but it's not H110, folks. I know many of you reload 357 Magnum with H110 powder for maximum velocity, and that I agree with. For those looking at H110, please make sure you do not download those below the starting loads of what you see in the manual. Here it is, Hodgdon's HS6. So I'm going to use Hodgdon's HS6 today, and I've already loaded it in the Lee powder hopper up there. And the reason I'm using Hodgdon's HS6, one, it produces lower pressure than H110, still gets me good velocity for range loads, and I will be using plated bullets. As you can see, these are Power Bond plated bullets, 38 357 Magnum, round nose flat point, 158 grain. Now, that is the reason I'm not using H110 today and pushing these to the ultimate of what 357 Magnum is capable of. Again, I know what this round is capable of. It is an old tried and true, and I get good velocity, but here's a good look of the Power Bond. As you can see, that's one reason I like the Power Bond. It has a cannula on it. And pretty much, guys, if you load to the cannula, you will get the overall stated length that you are looking for. And then last but not least, though most of the reloading manuals doesn't call for a Magnum Primer with HS6, I am using a Magnum Primer because with some testing, I have found in using a small pistol primer, non-Magnum, HS6 leaves a lot of unburned granules behind of powder. Almost kind of looks like dirt, if you will. So those are the components for today. I've got pretty much everything loaded up, the primers and the safety prime. Yes, I am wearing my safety glasses today. I've got the powder in the hopper. So we're going to prime our first case, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through this, if you will. I'm going to take my first case, and I have 357 Magnum brass. Most of it is range brass that I've picked up. CCI range brass that I have picked up. But it really is a mixture or hodgepodge. I can't believe people leave the range and leave their 357 Magnum brass behind, but quite a few do at my range, and that's okay because I'll pick it up and use it. So to get started, I will take here, place the brass in the shell holder, deprime, put a primer in, prime the case, and then on the first throw, folks, I will take and charge quite a few times to make sure the powder has settled. I'm just making sure the powder has settled. Now we're going to weigh this particular, and it comes out exactly as I expect it to. That's 9.2, 9.2 grains of HS6 is what you're going to see me fire across the chronograph when it's not such a gloomy day out. So maybe next week sometime we'll get to it. This particular step of dropping the powder in, that's 9.1 grains of HS6. So as you can see, it measures fairly well. It meters fairly well, shall I say. And we're going to take one last weight just to make sure to be on the safe side. 9.2 grains of HS6. And yes, folks, it is empty, no double charge or anything of that nature. It's always good to be safe, which is why I typically wear the black nylon gloves, but I'm out of them today, as you guys have seen in my previous videos. But every time I'm reloading, I also have on my safety glasses. So here we go. All right. No double charge. So we're going to get 9.2 grains. That step flares the case mouth also, and you'll see that plated bullet slips right down in there and holds pretty tight. This will seat it to the cannula. So let's see here. That'll seat it to the cannula right there, as you can see. Pretty good. Let's take out our calipers. Let's get them turned on. Make sure they're zeroed out. And seating to the cannula gets me right at 15.89 overall length. 1.589 overall length, which is right where we want to be, as the book, both books call for 1.590. So now that we know we have that seated to the right depth, we move on to the next station. And this is the Lee Factory Crimp Die, where I add just a slight roll crimp to the case. Now on these plated bullets, you do not want to really roll crimp them as you would a jacketed bullet. Really don't want to do that. So there you have it. That's kind of what the roll crimp looks like. It's right in the center of the cannula on these bullets. Power bond. I find them to be really nice bullets, pretty accurate. So now, folks, let's get on and do some loading. We'll prime, drop the powder, take the bullet, and crimp. That's it, folks. And as you can see here on the turret press, what's up with that? On the turret press, something was out of alignment there. This press, by the way, for those that are interested in the Lee Classic turret, this press is 18 years old. As a matter of fact, I was looking at my receipt this morning on this just to give you guys that data. And you can see what kind of shape this press is in. It has loaded quite a few 357 Magnums. It has loaded 500 Smith & Wesson. It has loaded 460. This press has loaded 40 Smith & Wesson. It has loaded pretty much every caliber in my collection that I have, as it was the third press that I ever purchased. So it's been around for quite some time. And it is in really, really good shape. But this is all there is to it. I'm being extra careful while I'm making this video and talking to you guys. But generally, if I was just sitting with the radio playing, I could crank them out a lot faster. But you could see essentially how quick this goes. This is not quite like a progressive, but man, it's really close, guys. It's really close. And if you're looking to get started in an economical way with, you know, a robust press that's going to last you a long time, then look no further than the Lee 4-hole classic turret. Like I said, inline fabrication. Now, this particular handle is an inline fabrication ergonomic handle, and I do love these handles. Again, anything, it doesn't take much for me to come out in the reloading layer to reload a few rounds. It's just relaxing, but anything that makes it more pleasurable, I'm all in, and inline fabrication has definitely done that for me. Again, this video is not sponsored by anyone at all, so it's purely my evaluation. So now that I've loaded a few, I'll take another here, and we want to weigh it now that the powder hopper has been around a couple times. And look at that, folks, right at 9.2, right at 9.2. So I would say this is good to go to just crank them out. Again, remember to practice safety first, just as you would as you were out on the range enjoying yourself. Safety is paramount on the loading bench, on the reloading bench as well. So wear your safety glasses. Have a couple of good manuals to validate your powder. Get yourself a good scale, a good economical press that will last a long time, like this Lee Classic 4-hole press. And start cranking them out, guys. It's a lot of fun. It's relaxing, something I really enjoy. My wife tells me all the time that I shoot just to reload, and there might be some truth to that. So anyways, there you have it. Reloading 357 Magnum with Mr. Revolver Guy in the reloading layer for the reloadersnetwork.com and also dayattherange.com.